So in holographic breathing, I described the holographic breathing and how it's going to interact with what we do. In holographic breathing, there's a gentle motion of the jaw. The lips are closed all of the time. The tongue is on the roof of the mouth all of the time. The breath is through the nose all of the time. But within that, on the in-breath, the jaw gently opens, and on the out-breath, it gently closes. And when the jaw is opening, the lips stay closed, and the tongue stays on the roof of the mouth. And it's just a very gentle motion of the jaw. And this combines with your breath, moves through the face, through the cranium, through the whole body, through the pelvis. And it starts igniting an energetic system of different energies and different qualities, and they're mirrored. The energies in the face mirror the energies in the cranium, mirror the energies in the pelvis, mirror the energies in the spine, and through the whole body and through the arms and legs. That's why it got called holographic breathing. It's the same system mirrored over and over. So let's just, so we're not going to go into it in detail like we did last time, where we went with all the different energies, but we're going to do it in a general way. And you can see we've got a skull here with the different energies, and I'm going to take the face off. Oops, come off. Take that off. Put that in there. Now, so we end up with a cranium. So this red energy, you can see that this is behind the face. The eyes are here. You've got the lower cranium. Notice you've got the red on the lower face. And then the back of the cranium, lower back is a green energy. The back of the jaws is a green energy. And then you've got the blue energies in the middle and front, and the front upper, or the upper front face, you've got the blue energies in the upper front cranium. The higher energies at the top of the head and the eyes in the face. And it's the same thing in the pelvis. The lower pelvis is more to do with the lower energies, and the middle of the pelvis is to do with the middle energies, and the higher parts of the pelvis are to do with the higher energies, and the same thing through the spine. So we're not going to go into in detail, we're just going to go into it in a general soft way. And what I think I will do, I think I've given people enough time to arrive now, so I think I'm going to describe that. I will just check the time. Yeah, I'll describe the holographic breathing and we'll go into that. So and then we'll learn the holographic breathing, and I'll quickly go over that anatomy and show you a bit more, and then we'll work with that through the whole body. So holographic breathing originally just came to me. I was just sitting in meditation. Excuse me, I'm going to sneeze. And I was breathing, and I was working a lot with the sinuses in this area, and that was releasing through the brain and down through the whole body. And at a certain point there was just a blinding flash of light, and this energy drove from the brain through the face down into the jaw, and it ignited a memory in the jaw. And the lips got pulled together, the tongue got pulled on the roof of the mouth, and on the in-breath the jaw gently opened, and on the out-breath the jaw gently closed. It just kind of started, the sheer energy moving into the jaw ignited that memory, and this gentle motion just started breathing through my whole face, through my cranium, down through my body, through my pelvis. It just opened up through my whole body in this wave like motion. And I was just totally amazed because I'd never felt anything like it before. And it was a saviour, because at the time I was dying of Lyme's disease. I was almost bedridden, and Lyme's disease does attack the brain, and as I was working with this new breath, I could feel it working through the brain. I could feel the brain releasing, and I could feel the toxins releasing out the brain and releasing through the whole body. And I started to recover from the Lyme's disease, so it gave me my life back. My guess is, I'm sorry, I've got this sneeze happening. I guess I would have lost my life at that point, because I was going from bronchitis to pneumonia to bronchitis, and I think another bout of pneumonia would have been the end of me. And the breathing threw me this lifeline, and I just started working with that, and after a while I started teaching that. And I can't say I ever got back to full health, but my health has recovered ever since. My spine has straightened, all parts of my body have opened up, and it's brought me this meditative energy system with the breath, where you can work as your own doctor. You can find the different energies, you can find where they are in the different parts of your body, and you can let them unfold, and you can cleanse the organs, you can cleanse the spine. So it works in an energetic way, and then there's also a physical motion through the whole body, which we work with as well. So there's a whole healing criteria around holographic breathing that just opens. It's not dissimilar to craniosacral therapy on the movement of the breath through the body. It comes from a different aspect. The movement is coming from the muscles working to create the breath. And when I trained as craniosacral therapy, that was more a spiritual thing, coming in and creating this wave-like motion. Holographic breathing starts from the other end. There is the physical motion of the breath, creating pretty well that same motion, and also connecting to the spiritual energies from that. And it's also not dissimilar to Ayurveda or something like that, with the different energies match Ayurvedic medicine very well, or the earth, fire, water, air and ether from Qigong, and the 5 elements and those different things. So it's a breath work that naturally opens up through those different sciences. And in the more advanced webinars, I teach that. We work with a different principle or a different area each Sunday, and we unfold that in far greater depth. And also there's channels, there's spiritual channels. When I'm teaching, channels come through, and when I'm running the meditations, channels come through. And when holographic breathing first started, for me it never stopped. It wasn't something I had to practice, because holographic breathing just started, this gentle motion of the jaw. Unless I'm speaking or eating, that's just going on in a very subtle way all of the time. And when I'm asleep, and I would wake up out of my sleep, and the channels were there showing me new information and how it works. So there's also a spiritual reality behind holographic breathing. I'm not saying you're going to connect to the same channels that are coming through me, but my guess is you will connect to your own channels or your own beneficial energies or your higher self. And there may be a particular energy around holographic breathing, I'm not sure, but it opens up the quality for spiritual channeling as well. So it covers all levels. It gives you when we're working with the motion of the breath, especially the longitudinal motion through the body, it gives you a very physical expression of the breath. And then there's all the different energies that are like a rainbow expanding through the different levels of energy. And then you also have the spiritual channels, and that's not something we're adding to the breath. That's not like we're breathing and then adding those qualities. Holographic breathing automatically starts opening those up. You just have to do holographic breathing, you bring your awareness to those different areas, and that quality starts manifesting. So it's not a doing, it's an allowing of something that is innate within us. And also the holographic breathing, once you've learnt it, it's not a technique. All you need to do is allow your jaw to be relaxed with the lips closed and the tongue on the roof of the mouth. And once you initiated into it through this first part, that automatically happens. Once you've learnt holographic breathing, in a way you have to stop yourself from doing it, or at least in my case I would have to stop myself from doing it. Other people most people that isn't so. You have to practice it and a little bit every day, and then after a while it just becomes more and more part of your life. And it's not something you have to go out and meditate, like I'm going to sit still and do it. You can do holographic while you're walking, washing up, doing whatever you're doing through the day. So we're not going to move straight into the exercises to learn it, but to start off with, just have your lips closed and relaxed and the tongue on your roof of the mouth. And it's the flat of the tongue on the roof of the mouth. The tip of the tongue is close to or touching the front teeth. And unless you already know holographic breathing, don't actually start trying to do it, because it can be a little bit troublesome to try and do it. It can be a false thing. We're going to go through some exercises to bring it in, but just get used to having your lips relaxed and closed, the upper surface of the tongue on the roof of the mouth. The tip of the tongue is close to or touching the front teeth, and the flat of the tongue is on the roof of the mouth. Relax the back of the neck, relax the back of your head, and the movement of the jaw that we're going to be working within, it's just 2 or 3 millimeters. It's a very small movement, or 1/4 of an inch. It's not a big movement, and the jaw is opening on the in-breath and closing on the out-breath. And when I'm teaching it, we start off with exercises, but at a certain point it just merges with the breath, and you can't even feel the jaw moving. It just becomes a relaxed part of the breath. I'm just going to move this table a bit. It's a little bit far away. My screen is small. And what I'll do is I'll just demonstrate it so you can see that the lips stay closed all of the time, and that it's very subtle, and that it's a relaxed type of breathing. One of the most common things that happens is that people, when they're learning, they come to moving the jaw and say, well, how can I open the jaw with the lips closed? So I want everybody just to try that first. Just have your lips closed, have your tongue on the roof of the mouth and just slowly moving the jaw up and down, keeping your lips closed and keeping the tongue on the roof of the mouth. It's a bit like chewing. So just try that. Don't have to do it long. And that's fine. Just you can let that go. Put your hand up if you couldn't do that. If you couldn't move your jaw and keep your lips closed. Okay, I think everybody could do that. So when we come to the exercises, you haven't got an excuse now. So I'll just demonstrate it for a few breaths so you can see that it's very gentle and that the lips do stay closed. Okay. So very quickly takes you into a deep and meditative quality, and that is what we're aiming at. It's not a strong or cathartic or heavy breathing type thing. You breathe deeply, if you wish, but it's gentle. So that is what we're going to be working with. And now we're going to move into the exercises, but does anyone have a question before we go into that? So you need to, I'm going to put them, you'll have to wave your hand if you've got a question. I can't see anybody waving their hands. Okay, so we're going to start with that. So also what is really important is deeply relaxing. My voice also sends people to sleep, so do the channels. If you are learning this for the first time, it's important to be sitting up rather than lying down, because there's a really good chance you'll just go to sleep and miss the instructions. After you've learnt it, just in this first exercise, then you can do it lying down or however you want, because it won't matter if you fall asleep. But it's important you have to get all the different parts, otherwise it's not going to work. And there's a certain point that's very important where we take the attention from the jaw to the breath through the nose. When there's an intrinsic quality of energy, it's really important to be awake and aware through that part. So you may need to, bring your awareness to yourself through these first exercises to properly get the instructions, and then when it initiates and moves into a natural breath, and then after that it's just like riding a bike. Okay, so we're going to start. So closing your eyes. And for the people who know holographic breathing, just dropping into the holographic breathing. And other people who haven't learned holographic breathing, just breathing very gently in your own way. Okay, and we're going to connect to some resources, sending some energy, sending a smile to the earth, and allow the earth to say hello back. Allow yourself to receive from the earth. And then sending a smile sending some energy to the higher self and the beneficial energies. The beneficial energies are any channels or higher energies you like to work with, and allowing them to say hello back, allowing yourself to receive from the higher self and the beneficial energies, allowing yourself to receive and communicate with the earth. And notice what that feels like through your body and through your energies. And asking the earth, the higher self and the beneficial energies to be with you through the whole webinar as your guide and your resource. And starting off, just having the lips relaxed and closed, the tongue relaxed and on the roof of the mouth. The breath is through the nose all of the time, and just gently, very slowly opening and closing the jaw, just half a finger width, not a big motion. Just moving the jaw up and down, and notice you can have the lips closed, you can have the tongue on the roof of the mouth, and you can move the jaw, and the lips stay closed and the tongue can stay on the roof of the mouth. It's a bit like chewing. And then as the jaw opens, allow the breath to come in through your nose, and as the jaw closes, allow your breath come out through the nose. Notice it may feel a bit like a bellows. The jaw gently opens, the breath comes in through the nose. The jaw gently closes, the breath comes out through the nose. You can relax the back of the neck, relax the back of your head, relax your abdomen, jaw relaxes open, breath comes in, the jaw relaxes closed, the breath comes out through the nose. Relaxing the back of the neck, relaxing the back of your head. Notice it feels like as the jaw is opening, it's drawing the breath in through the nose, and as the jaw is closing, it's expelling the breath out through the nose like a bellows. Notice how they're connecting. And just become used to that and try and do that in a nice, relaxed way. There we go. Okay, now we're going to bring the attention to the breath. This is an important part. Bringing the attention to the breath coming in through the nose, and as the breath is coming in, the jaw relaxes open. As the breath is leaving, the jaw relaxes closed, and the movement of the jaw starts synchronizing with the breath. Breathing in through the nose, the jaw gently opens. Small amount, half a finger width. The lips stay closed, the tongue stays on the roof of the mouth. Breathing out, the jaw gently closes. Notice how it's become much softer, much more energy-based and meditational. And the jaw relaxes and everything relaxes. And as you become used to it, it feels like a memory that you've always known how to do this. It's like it's in your cells. Breathing in, the jaw relaxes open. Breathing out, the jaw relaxes closed. Relax your throat, relax your neck. Do it in a soft way. And as the chest is opening, the jaw opens along with it. As the chest is closing, the jaw closes with it. They're moving together. They're opening together and they're closing together. As your abdomen is opening, the jaw is opening. As the abdomen is closing, the jaw is closing. The lips stay closed all of the time. The tongue stays on the roof of the mouth all of the time. And notice how in a very subtle way your face has started to breathe. Your cranium has started to breathe. Your neck and throat have started to breathe. And you've moved to a different level of consciousness, or a different state of consciousness. It becomes very meditative, very relaxing. And it's important that the jaw is free all of the time. So as the teeth are coming together on the out-breath, they just very gently touch. They just float together. There's no pressure. Or they can just be separate, slightly separate, so they don't touch. Both is fine. As you breathe in, the teeth are separating. As you breathe out, they gently come together or are just separate, but there's no pressure behind them. The jaw is just relaxed. You can feel this deep moving breath starting to move through your whole body. It's a bit like you get the ability to travel in your body. You can feel the pelvis breathing. You can feel the arms and legs breathing. The hands and feet breathing. Relax your neck. Let the energy travel through your neck. Also relax your solar plexus and the organs, and energy will start moving through the organs and digestive tract, through the brain, through the spine. You have to allow those different areas to relax. Let your whole abdomen relax. Especially I feel a lot around the solar plexus. Let your solar plexus relax and let the energy run through that area. And as the organs relax, you may start feeling the different vertebrae adjusting or relaxing or moving. The energy starts moving through the organs automatically. This will start adjusting and straightening your spine. And that will go through your brain. Allow the organs to breathe and relax. Allow the spine to adjust. And allow the energy to travel through your brain. Holographic breathing will open you to a totally new breath, where the Kundalini will move through your brain and start rejuvenating your brain, and also opening the higher centers to the beyond and the higher intelligences. You'll become privy to the higher intelligences. It's an evolutionary breathing system. You will start to evolve. Your brain will start to evolve. You'll start getting connections from your brain up into the higher energies. It will start connecting all the different parts of you. And it's soft. It's not a forceful breath. It's soft. Let the energies move through your brain. Let the energies move through your organs, and through your chest, and through your heart and the lungs, and through your throat, and through the brain. There seems to be a lot of emphasis on the brain today, letting your organs breathe. Let the brain breathe. And as this happens automatically, your spine will start adjusting, the energies will start moving through your spine. And the pelvis, allowing the pelvis to breathe. The pelvis provides the potency, provides the sexual energies, the sexual potency, which is not just in the genitalia, through all the organs of the pelvis and all the bones of the pelvis. This energy starts rising up through your body and transforming as it goes into different energies and healing, and that moves through your spine, and your brain starts speaking and transforming, gently breathing with the holographic breathings. May just become natural, so you hardly realize it's happening. You may have to put your fingers on your jaw just to check it's still moving. It becomes so natural you don't even know that it's happening. It isn't a technique, it's something we've always known. It is the most simple thing, and once it starts, you start moving into a different realm, different universe, different reality. Your organs start transforming, your brain starts transforming. We are moving into a new race and a new experience for this time. A new healing for a new time. Between your shoulder blades, the spine behind the shoulder blades, above the shoulder blades, let that release. And breathe gently with the holographic breathing. And in about a minute, we're going to come back. making the breath softer. And when you feel ready, gently allowing yourself to come back. Let's just look at what it looks like inside the face, because I can take my headphones off. So here's a picture inside the face, and the lower face is a bit like the abdomen, the jaws a bit like the pelvis, the tongue, kind of the digestive system, the roof of the mouth, this would be the diaphragm there. The nasal passageways, these are like the heart, and you've got these big sinuses either side of the nasal passageways. See, these are like the lungs for the face. You come up into the ethmoid between the eyes. This is full of air sinuses through here. That is, it moves into the higher energies. This is the hara, and the lower energies, this is more feeling and emotional energies of the heart and lungs. You come up into here, it's the intellect, the higher energies, and the brain. So we're going to work with those different energies in the face, and we're going to relate it through the cranium, spine and pelvis. It's got the ethmoid on this lower picture as well. Can you see how that sinus is and goes all the way back into here, which is the sphenoid part of the cranium, and where you've got the optic nerve coming through, then you've got the pituitary gland dropping down into this area. So this is quite a spiritual bone, the ethmoid, and when we move into that area between the eyes, can be quite a bright light, and you get much deeper lower energies in the jaw, and it rises a bit in the tongue. So yeah, it can be very bright in this area. So with the face, we've got the lower darker energies, the back of the jaw. It comes more into the fire energies at the front. Then if you look from behind, got the nasal passageways here. These are the maxillary sinuses in here. And then we move into the higher energies. We've got the eyes here. Between the eyes, we've got the ethmoid there. So we'll be working through those energies. I feel people starting to pass out as we go through the anatomy. Where's the head gone? Oh, there it is. See the yellow bone? That's the ethmoid between the eyes. Very spiritual bone, completely full of sinuses, and it comes back, joins the, I don't know why my brain's not working tonight, down through the sphenoid, which also has big sinuses in the body of the sphenoid there. So this whole central area of the face is not just the nasal passageways is quite a small area compared to it all. See, the nasal passageways are just this bit here, but these sinuses either side, they're actually bigger than the nasal passageways, and you've got the same size area in the ethmoid, and there's tracks between the ethmoid where the air can go, and all of these air sinuses, very fine air sinuses, and this whole bone is called the maxilla. And I can remember when I did my cranial training and they had a real skull there, and I picked the ethmoid up, and there was absolutely no weight to it. It reminded me of, you know, when you get these skulls of a small bone of a small bird and they're just really light. Sorry, not the ethmoid, the maxilla. It felt like that because the bones were so fine, there was no weight to this central area. It was all air. The bones were very fine. The ethmoid at just far less than a millimeter wide, so there's a lot of air in this whole area, and the different areas of it have different energies. And it's the same, we're not going to work precisely with the energies, we're just going to go into general areas. And this area in red here, the sphenoid, this is back behind the face here, so the lower cranium is behind. These are the nasal passageways in here, so this area is behind the nasal passageways, behind the sinuses, behind the eyes. So the lower cranium is behind the face. You've got the back lower cranium, the upper front cranium, the top of the cranium, the upper back, the sides. We just generally come to it in the same way as the face, and they mirror back and forwards between each other. In the pelvis, in a very general way, it's similar. The sit bones and the front of the pelvis, so you've got pelvis there, the lower pelvis and the front. This is more like the mouth area, and then you come into the middle of the pelvis and up into these wings a bit in this area. This is the middle of the face, and then come to the top of the pelvis, the top of the sacrum. That's the higher energies. And the same with the spine, it rises through the energies in a general way as we rise up through the spine. So we're going to work with that in this second meditation. Okay, we're going to start. Alright, closing your eyes and gently dropping into the holographic breathing. Now, for the new people learning, in the first meditation I'd said please be sitting up, because then you can learn it. You can lie down now if you wish. You don't have to be sitting up. You can be sitting up or lying down, whatever's most comfortable for you. But if you are lying down, almost certainly you'll spend a fair amount of this meditation asleep, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. So closing your eyes and gently dropping into the holographic breathing. The lips are relaxed and closed. The tongue is relaxed and on the roof of the mouth. On the in-breath, the jaw relaxes open. On the out-breath, the jaw relaxes closed. The breath is through the nose all of the time. I'm being pulled a lot to the organs tonight, so be aware of your abdomen, and not just the breath in your abdomen, but the different organs, and allowing the breath and energies to move through your organs. As you're breathing, becoming aware of your jaw. Notice how this has got quite a strong, deep, low energy. This also relates to the lower back of the cranium. The pelvis, it relates to the sit bones. Becoming aware of this powerful, dark energy in the jaw. And as you allow it to also release through the sit bones and the back of the head. This will initiate the energy in your spine. And it's a dark earth energy. Very resourcing, very comforting, very deep energy. This is our ground. As the movement of holographic breathing starts from the jaw, it means you're always got a connection to the earth. Then also feeling the tongue and the lips. Notice you may move up in the body may move more into the abdomen, not so much in the bones, more visceral, more to do with the organs. There's very different quality when you're aware of the tongue in holographic breathing. And the connection to the roof of the mouth and this very subtle suckling quality through the lips and tongue. Noticing the connection from the tongue to the roof of the mouth. This may bring you into your diaphragm under the lungs. Notice how the roof of the mouth connects you to your diaphragm. Allowing the roof of the mouth to get softer and more malleable, more see-through, so it becomes very flexible and moving with the breath. And rising up through the roof of the mouth to the middle of the face. You may feel your heart more strongly, and your lungs more strongly. If you're aware of the sinuses, these big maxillary sinuses either side of the nasal passageways. And this connects to the sides of the cranium, sides of the pelvis, big maxillary sinuses will connect your lungs. Nasal passageways will more connect your heart. Notice you're no longer in that deep earth energy of the mouth and jaw. You can feel down to the jaw. It's like the cellar, the deep, dark earth energy of the jaw. And the sinuses, notice you can be with your sinuses, and it really gives you the breath in your lungs. It gives you the breath in the sides of the pelvis, the sides of the cranium. It releases a breath through your spine. Allow that energy to move through your spine. And it also relates to the cranial fluid in the brain. This isn't just the cranial fluid around the brain and in the ventricles. The brain is like a sea, and the brain cells are like seaweed in the sea, and the sea is cranial fluid. Through the whole brain, around the brain, in the ventricles, this is all water. Cranial fluid is 99% water. Salt water. It's the sea of our head. And this breath in the maxillary sinuses gives us the breath in the cranial fluid. It travels down through your spine. If you move up between the eyes, you come into the ethmoid. You feel a pulsing between your eyes and this bright light releasing between your eyes. The ethmoid is a very spiritual bone. Relates a lot to the nose and the tongue. The ethmoid is really part of the cranium. In the face it relates to the nose and tongue. It's the middle of the spine. It's the urogenital, the front part of the diaphragm under the pelvis. And for the women, it's the erectile tissue of the clitoris, which spreads out right down through the bones, right back to the sit bones on either side of the vagina. And for the men, it's the erectile tissue in the penis, which also stretches back either side almost to the sit bones. It's the middle of the spine, the ethmoid in the cranium. Let that travel through your brain. Notice the different areas of the face talking to each other, the spine starting to talk, and the energies moving through your brain. These different energies connect. It's important to let it unfold through the brain. For the brain to breathe and release and energize, you have to let go of the mind. You become the viewer of the intellect rather than being the intellect or mind. You let the brain pulse. Let those energies travel through the brain. You may feel a pulsing in your pelvic floor, and through your spine, and through your brain. There's a lot with the brain tonight, allowing that energy to release through your brain and up into the higher self. The pelvis, through the spine, through the brain. Really nice pulsing as your brain starts coming to life. The neurons, the glial cells, the astrocyte cells, the energies start traveling through them. And you get the release of the pelvic floor, and that energy rising, releasing through the brain. You have to let it go through the brain, and this undoes our connection to the mind. We start becoming the viewer of the mind rather than being the mind. And releases through the top of the head into the higher self. Again, feeling those large maxillary sinuses opening and closing. And your whole body opening and closing. The breath in your lungs, the sideways breath in your abdomen and pelvis, the sideways breath in your cranium. Let that ventilate your brain. And the fluid is water. Cranial fluid is water. Salt water with oxygen and glucose. Every cell is floating in cranial fluid. Cranial fluid brings the oxygen to the cells, brings the glucose, the salt, takes away the carbon dioxide and toxins. Let it breathe. Let your brain cells breathe. Let them detoxify. Moving up from the maxillary sinuses into the eyes. You may feel you start getting a flashing in the eyes. Notice you've gone up a level. Relates to the intellect and the higher energies in the brain. Feeling the eyes pulsing, the brain pulsing, top of the head pulsing, top of the pelvis releasing, top of the spine releasing, as you move into the higher energies. Getting this really nice pulse through your glial cells. These are the cells of your brain, all like seaweed in the cranial fluid, and the electrical pulses and charges moving through them. The energy rises up through the spine, then it releases in a natural way through all the different channels of your brain. And feeling all of the bones of the face, the jaw, the tongue, the lips, the roof of the mouth, sinuses, the nasal passageways, the ethmoid, the eyes. And feeling around the TMJs where it's connecting to the cranium, and around the eye, around the ears, and this sideways motion, allowing all of the energies of the face to connect with all of the energies of the cranium. letting those energies flow back and forth from the face and the cranium. And there's a certain completion, there's a certain stillness when all of those bones start working in unison. You have to include right forwards into the nose, the back of the jaw, the back of the eyes, the back of the sinuses, and the bones of the cranium. All of them, the different energies flowing back and forth between themselves, between the face and cranium. And you move into a space of samadhi, a stillness. The mind stops. There's a certain stillness as the face and cranium become the skull. Notice there's an energy to that word, the skull. It's very different to saying the face and cranium. The skull has an energy. When all of the bones of the face and cranium start interacting, it opens a channel. Become a viewer. And spine starts releasing. All the different vertebrae start talking. As the bones of the face and cranium start talking, all the separate vertebrae start talking. The energy releasing through the different vertebrae, through all of the bones of the skull. Almost has a E.T. type quality, as if when we become aware of the skull. I've got to plug my laptop in, so 1 minute, just be with your skull and spine and I'll come back. So breathing with the energies of your skull and letting all of the vertebrae talk, and also all of the bones of the pelvis start talking, and they produce the potency that is rising up the body, and you become a viewer when the whole skull is breathing as one. And all of those different energies are interacting back and forwards and balancing, connects you to a higher level. And this always feels a bit E.T., as if I'm channeling an off-planet intelligence. And the mind is, chatter of the mind disappears and you're just viewing. New way of being, an advanced being. We are advanced beings if we move on to this next level. Everything can heal. Everything can balance. Gently breathing, feeling all of those energies from the face, all of those energies from the cranium, the skull, balancing on the spine. The energies as a channel moving through all the different vertebrae. Notice when you become aware of all the separate bones of an energy, you become aware of all the separate vertebrae as different energies. You may not be able to pinpoint the energies, but you can feel them all talking to each other. And the different areas of the pelvis and sexual potency talking to each other. This heals through the organs, through the arms and legs, through the lungs, breathing gently with holographic breathing and letting it travel through your brain. The brain is 90% water, and the water in the brain is 99% water. It's water with glucose and salt in it as the main constituents. And water is a channel. It's occupying those higher centers, goes down through the spinal cord and out through the nerves. It breathes and it connects and imbibes the higher chakras in our face and cranium, the crown chakra, and is a channel to the beyond. So as those bones in your body start talking, the different areas of the brain start talking, and you're viewing rather than being. And the water becomes a channel, the glial cells become a channel, and you are no longer separate. You are no longer a person channeling the higher self. You are the higher self and a person as one being. You're no longer this body with a being. You are a body and energies and being as a higher self, as one being, delivering divine consciousness to the earth, letting your body be a channel for divine consciousness. And you may not notice it, but very subtly doing holographic breathing, that is what's opening these channels and energies, and allowing this bright, bright light to descend into your cranium. First your energies release up into the beyond, and after a while that attracts the beyond and higher self back into you and around you, around your body. Energy comes down into the brain, into the skull. There's a reason that the skull fascinates people. It's a highly evolved, geometrically aligned shape and energies as a transmitter of the beyond and God, or the Creator, or whatever you consider to be that higher energy. It travels down through your spine, through your organs, through your arms and legs, and you are the channel. You are part of the channel. It's not like you are channeling another. You are part of another reality that you're not normally privy to. There is an intelligence far beyond what we normally are acquainted with. Allow yourself to become that. Allow your brain to start evolving. Allow that to heal through every part of your body. Especially letting go of your throat and neck. Breathing with your chest, with your pelvis. Allowing the energies to sink in your face, more into the jaw. Allowing them to sink in your cranium, more into the lower back of the cranium. To the sit bones, to the shoulder blades. To your heels of your hands and the heels of your feet, and these much darker, richer energies. And you might start feeling gravity and a magnetism from the earth, or between you and the earth, as you grounded into the earth. And these energies are also, the earth as these energies as well. We are made of the earth. The earth is also part of these energies. The earth is also connecting to the higher energies. The earth traveling through the universe in a spiral, connecting with the galactic and universal energies. We are part of that. And feeling that magnetism and grounding to those energies in the earth, especially from the sit bones, the heels of the feet, the heels of the hands. Gently breathing with the holographic breathing. We're going to come back in about a minute, so just breathing very gently, very softly. Okay. And sending a thank you to the earth. Sending a thank you to the higher self, the beneficial energies, the creator. And letting the energies go off for love and healing to the earth. For love and healing to the higher self, beneficial energies, the creator. And letting yourself be loved and healed. And letting your energies go out to all sentient beings for love and healing. You are a sentient being, allowing yourself to be loved and healed.